Hi, everybody. Hiya.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? Are we all okay? All good, good. Welcome everybody to our Limitless Leaders training. I'll give it a couple more minutes. Make sure everybody is on. Looking forward to our 9 o'clock call where we're going to hear all about Arizona, which will be very exciting. Okay, I'm just going to get our recognition ready. If there's anything in the recognition that isn't on the Facebook group that I missed, then please pop it in the chat so I can give you a shout out. So we have got a very special guest trainer on this evening. I am very excited for. Now it is her first time doing some training tonight, so I'm sure we are going to give her lots and lots of positive energy because that's what we do. Okay, if I can ask everybody to mute, because I don't think I'm able to mute everybody this end because I'm on an iPad, so I think everybody is muted. Let me just double check. So Tiffany, I don't think you're muted, darling. If you could mute yourself, that would be fab. Thank you. And I'm not quite sure. I've got you down as Hawaii P10 Plus. I'm assuming that's probably not your actual name, but you're not muted, my darling. You're wearing a lovely bright red top.
Emma, if I can... and new won't know how to mute. Can you not mute all?
I can't because I'm on my iPad.
Can you know participants?
It doesn't. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's try that. No, that's not worked. I've just clicked mute on entry, but that's not muted everybody. Okay, well, we'll crack on and see how we go. Okay, so as I say, welcome everybody. I'm going to go through our recognition. So if there's anything that if I don't call out your name or anything, and if it's not on the Facebook group, then please just pop it in the chat so I can give you a shout out to say well done. So on the Facebook group, I'm going to go back to anything that's more recent than 1 week. So we had a new consultant, Emily Melbourne, who was sponsored by me, joined the team. So welcome, Emily. Online launches for Tiffany Bentham, Hannah Rawlingson, and Rachel Rudkin, all done by Danny. So well done, guys, for your online launches. Danny has done her DM bonus. Oh, hang on, sorry. I'm flicking my camera around the wrong way. That was the wrong button to put. There we go. That's better. For some reason, is everybody? Oh, that's better. I had Danny on the screen instead of me. That's it. Okay. So Rachel Rudkin really pushed yourself out of your comfort zone and did lots of videos on your Facebook page, which is fantastic. Emma Wood doing 500 PQV. Well done, Emma. That's awesome. Danny has hit her AM bonus already, which is absolutely phenomenal. So well done, Danny. New consultants, Kelly Saunders, sponsored by Hannah Rawlingson. So welcome, Kelly, and well done, Hannah. New consultant, Vivi Shan, sponsored by Danny. Fantastic, well done. And Lindsay Langford has done 1000 PQV, so that is amazing. Well done. Let me just see if there's anything else in the chat to give you a shout out. Amy West is new in DM Qual. Well done, Amy. That's fantastic. Right, so is there anything else?
Got it.
So well done, everybody. And who's doing the Ritz boot camp? Who has done their online DA?
No.
Give me a show of hands if you've done that, because well done. Because recording your own DA, that's a pretty scary one to do. And that is amazing that you've done that. So well done. That's really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So we have got a very, very special guest speaker. And I am very excited to introduce Joelle to you. So a lot of you will know Joelle already. So she is a consultant of mine. She's been in the business for about 6 months now, and she is fantastic. And she was telling me about a training that she had at work, and it just sounded so good that I just thought I really wanted her to share it with all of us. So I asked her, and she said yes. And so I am going to hand over to you, Joelle, to share your amazing training with us. So please give a lovely warm welcome. Well done, Jo. Can't wait to hear from you.
Can I just quickly jump in? Sammy, can you just mute, lovely?
She's trying to tell me, I don't know how to do it.
There's a button at the bottom.
Danny.
Sammy.
Is that everybody?
No. I've texted her, but I don't know if she's getting the messages. Okay, maybe she's done it. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. Okay, so like Emma said, I'm Jo. I'm an independent consultant. I started back in June and basically talked the talk, but didn't walk the walk. But now I've decided I'm going to walk the walk, and I'm going to do everything I need to do to get to MVP and beyond. So in my other job, I work for Anglian Water. I work at Rutland Water Nature Reserve as an education officer there. And Anglian Water decided to upskill their team leaders, and they're working with a company called Lane 4. And they have worked with Olympic athletes and a lot of other big companies. And it's all about mentality with them. So I happen to be talking to Emma about some of the training that I have been on. So I'm doing this on my phone, so I can't share the slides that I've got right now, but I will be putting them in Limitless Leaders later so that we can all see them. There's 2 things that I wanted to go over today that I found really useful from what we did. One of those is goal setting. And obviously we talk a lot about goals and what we want to achieve, and it goes in our affirmations and our goal cards in the morning. And one of the things that I really liked is this little table just here. So basically at the top, you've got your outcome, so your goal. So at the minute, I know a lot of us are working towards becoming an area by the 31st of May, so we can go to the Ritz. So if your outcome at the top is area, the next bit down is your performance. So these are your key performance objectives that you're trying to achieve in order to reach outcome. So to get to area, firstly, you need to get into area qual. From Laura's training last night, it's ideal if you can get 5 district managers underneath you to help you towards that goal. And then also, obviously, you need to reach the QB. And then underneath that is your processes. So this is where you break your goal down into those much smaller chunks that you can tick off as you go. So you can see that in order to get 100 QB, you need to sell 5 mascaras, or you want to give 10 RE9 sets this month in order to get there. So your process down at the bottom are those small little things that build up to make your performance that gives you the outcome. And this I find quite good because you can then put your big aim at the top and break everything down really nice and small. That means it's really easy for you to check off how you're going. So one of your processes is going to be doing your tracker every day. It's getting your products out to people. It will be your 40 faces. So this is just a really good way of laying it out that I found that we covered in our training. The next thing that we did was all about personal resilience. I think this fits really well with Arbonne because obviously we do experience a bit of negativity towards it. So it doesn't matter how good we are at what we do, we're all going to have some kind of adversity. So it can be in your personal life or it can be in your work life, it doesn't matter. At some point you're going to be under that pressure. So you need to build up personal resilience so that you can cope with those extreme stresses. And you can train yourself to be able to cope with cope with stress issues. So resilience is all about how you adapt and how you face that stress, how you bounce back from it. So one of the ways to think of it is, I've just lost my piece of paper, 1 second, is the Incredible Hulk. So in your normal world, you are Bruce Banner. So in your normal life, you are calm, you are logical, you're using your cortex, so your thinking part of your brain. But in that brain, there are only a few connections. It's kind of the newer part of our brain. And then when you face stress and adversity, you turn into the Hulk. So this is where the other side of your personality comes out. So your Hulk is driven by your amygdala, which is the older portion of your brain. So it's had thousands and thousands of years to build up millions and millions of connections in it. And it is your fight or flight. And basically, your amygdala can hijack the rest of your brain and cause you to go into the fight or flight response. And when you go into the your fight or flight, you don't really have a huge amount of control over how you act and behave. It's called an amygdala hijack. So personal resilience is all about building up, A, your awareness of what your stresses are, and B, knowing how you might react in those stressful situations, and therefore how you can take yourself back to Bruce. So there's a recipe card. So this is your recipe card. So in the middle here, you need to describe what your Bruce is. So what are you like in your normal life, day to day, nice and calm? How do you come across? So it could be that you're really friendly and bubbly. It could be that you're quite logical in your thinking. You like to make lists. But then when you are threatened and your Hulk comes out, what is your Hulk? So for me personally, I get really quiet if people have really annoyed me. I just go really deathly silent. My face gives everything away, so you know how pissed off I am or annoyed I am by my face. Occasionally, if it's really bad, I might get a little bit physical and I swear a lot. So that's what my Hulk looks like. And then you need to work out how you get back to your Bruce. The thing with our brain is that we can't tell the difference between a physical threat or an ego threat, but that's something that's just affecting us mentally. So obviously, when we were evolving, it could be something like a saber-toothed tiger, or it could be the thought of speaking in front of everybody. But our brain doesn't distinguish between those two different types of threat. It just goes ah! And freaks out. So it's all about knowing what sort of thing ticks your boxes and starts your stress response, and then how to bring that back down. So there are different things, which is called the scarf U model. So all these different heads here. So it could be that status is something that really ticks your boxes. So you, when somebody is threatening to take away, let's say, your DM or something like that. Or it could be certainty. So you like to know exactly what you need and in what order. Then you've got autonomy. So you need to know what's going on and how to get there. The R is for relatedness. So that is where you can't relate to it. So you've got no idea where this person is coming from. You can't see their perspective whatsoever. Fairness is a big one for a lot of people. So that's where the person next to you only has to get 5,000 QV to get to DM, but you've had to get 15 or, whatever it is, for example. And the U, which obviously doesn't really make a good acronym, SCARF U, is the understanding. So it's all about you being able to see what you need to do and how you get there. So when you're building your personal resilience, you need to work out which ones of those models relate to you the most. And then you can work out how you get back to Bruce in those situations. So there's a few tips, which is basically, one is called cognitive loading. So that is where you're forcing your brain to think about something else, something that's either really hard or something really mundane and boring. So it could be trying to work out what 73 times 24 is, or it could be trying to recall every meal that you had for dinner last week. Something that just turns off your brain from whatever it is that is making it tick. One of the other ways to get back to Bruce is to practice mindfulness. So obviously I know that's something that we do as part of Miracle Mornings. So it could be that you put on a mindfulness video on YouTube, you could do some yoga, it could be something like exercise, it could be just going and sitting outside and having a cup of tea. However you practice your mindfulness, that's a good way to get back to your Bruce. The other way that you can get back to Bruce is by borrowing. So someone who isn't experiencing the same stress as you, go and talk to them about it. It's about offloading your troubles and using their rational mind while you're not thinking straight to set you back on the right path. It's not necessarily about them telling you what you need to do. It's more about them just talking you through the problems. And by the fact that you have to talk through them, it takes you back to Bruce, which means that you can then actually start using the useful part of your brain and start thinking clearly again. So pressure and adversity inevitable. We're all going to experience it at some point, whether it be personal or professional. There's no point in trying to avoid it because you're not going to be able to. So actually, you just need to train for it and make sure that you've got what you need in order to deal with it. So one of the good tools that we also got is this belief wall. And this is basically a way of working out your personal values and looking at all the different successes that you've had. So the very, let me hold it up again. The very top of your belief wall are your tangible successes. So it could be something like you got your promotion, you won a game of hockey, you passed your driving test. The next layer down in your belief wall are your intangible successes. So these are the things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis to actually get those successes. So it could be that you've built the right relationships, you've had to overcome certain hardships. In kind of like an Arbonne point of view, it will be things like promoting new DMs, getting QV, that kind of stuff. Then your third layer is all about your personal attributes that lead to success. So in order to get those successes, what have you got to have as your personality that underpin it? So do you have drive? Are you good at building relationships? Are you personable? And your very bottom layer are personal values that underpin all of them. So do you have strong family values? Are you a hard worker? Are you particularly fair? And with the belief wall, you can either work sort of from the bottom up, or sometimes it's easier to start at the top with a particular success and then work your way down each column. And doing this is just really good for pointing out if you're having quite a low moment and you're like, oh, I'm so rubbish at this. It's good to go back and just go, well, no, actually, I bought my first house. And what did I have to do to get that? I had to live with my in-laws for 4 years in order to save enough money to buy my house. So I have to be pretty strong-willed to live with my mother-in-law for 4 years, lovely as she is. And underneath that, it's probably because I've got quite strong family values, you know, and just really stubborn. No, she's not on the call, luckily. So when you're feeling particularly down about yourself, doing something like the belief wall is really good because it just highlights all of your good points, really. So yeah, so there's 10 ways to build personal resilience, and we do a lot of these already in Arbonne. So I'll just read them out. So the first one is making connections. Now we've got a pretty good team anyway, as a big team, and then obviously we're broken down into our smaller teams, and every day as part of Arbonne we are trying to make new connections with people. Self-discovery. So obviously we're really pro on self-development, and we've got to read every day, and that's working out who you are as a person and what makes you tick. You need to just accept and manage the fact that change is going to happen. Nothing is ever going to stay the same. So accepting that you can't control everything is a big step on the way to personal resilience. Next up is keeping things in perspective. So it's the old adage of don't cry over spilt milk, really. It's not the end of the world if the small things happen. So you've got to always look at the big picture. Action. So when you're being affected by personal resilience issues, if you can take action towards either achieving a goal or resolving it, you're going to start feeling better immediately. Oh, the next one's moving towards a goal, so they're kind of the same. Nurturing self-esteem. So this is taking care of yourself. You can't take care of others unless you keep yourself up nice and healthy. Maintaining hope and positivity. So this one I really liked because it is our affirmations and our gratitude list from the tracker. Oh, taking care of oneself is on there as well. And then seeing crises as surmountable problems. So it's about breaking down, either in the goal sort of table or in your belief wall, how can you overcome this? So, you know, I might not get to 5,000 QV at the end of this month in order to make it through the AM glitz and glam sort of cut off. It's not the end of the world because I might be at 2,500 and that might be the furthest QV that I've ever done since starting Arbonne. So it's not the end of the world, but how do I then get to 5,000 in April? So I got 2,500 by selling 10 mascaras this week and whatever next week, but now I know I need to up my game, so I need to book in 4 more parties and I need to do this. It's just breaking it down into different smaller chunks. And that is a whistle-stop tour of what I learnt. Does anyone have any questions? Please don't make them hard if you do. No, none? Good, easy.
Jo, that was amazing training. That was really, really good. That was really quite different to a lot of other trainings that we've had as well. It's a different way of looking at it. And there was some really good practical steps in there as well. And of course, we all do a lot of the personal development and everything. It all goes hand in hand with our business. But I think different things talk to different people, and we can all benefit from in different ways from different things, which is, you know, why the personal growth is so good, and reading different books and that kind of thing. And that I've never heard anything that's quite like that before as well. I love that belief wall. That was a really, really good way to break it down. Are you able to put those slides on the page so that we can print them off?
Yeah.
And use them?
I was hoping to do it before the call, but I didn't get around to it.
Oh no, that's all right, because it would have spoiled the surprise if they were up before the call. I gave everybody a hint saying it was something to do with the Incredible Hulk, and I probably sent people thinking, what? But no, that was absolutely fantastic. Has anybody got any other questions for Jo at all? Yeah, you could have dressed up as the Incredible Hulk. That would have taken it up a gear as well.
Yeah, maybe not.
Let me just see if there's anything in the chat. But I think, yeah, anybody on the call with kids, which I think a lot of us do, I think we can all probably relate to the Incredible Hulk as well, because I think we all probably turn into the Hulk quite regularly when it comes to kids, because nobody can push your buttons like your children can. And yeah, so that's it. And it's quite nice to have something in your mind as well, so that you know when you are getting to the edge. Or partners, yeah, exactly, men and kids, or partners and kids, I should say, because we have got some men on the call. I think wives can be just as bad. So yeah, partners and kids definitely tip you over the edge. Absolutely. And to have that kind of visualization of you when you know that you're reaching that point, to be able to understand and learn to bring yourself back, and it's a really, really, really good tool to have. And you know, that's what our personal development is all about, and that's why it can help us in so many aspects of our life and not just our Arbonne business. So that's brilliant, and massive well done, Jo, because obviously this is your first training and you handled it like a pro. So well done. I'm really, really proud of you. That's what it is. She's been on the beer before she started her training. Cool. Love it. Absolutely love it. Although I have to say that's quite handy, because when I was recording my DA, I had a glass of wine, and it can sometimes really help, but not too much, just a little bit. Although I do do some good prospecting after I've been on the gin as well. So now everybody's probably going to think I'm just a bit of an Arbonne alcoholic, but you know what? Hey ho. What got you to area? Gin. Well, so yeah, no, not when I'm on the 30 days. No, I'm very good when I'm on the 30 days. That's probably why, you know, I should never promote if I'm on the 30 days, because I can't have any gin. Right, is there any other recognition? Anybody else that needs a shout out for amazing things they've done this week? Has anybody else, because we've got another 10 minutes that we can chat for, if anybody wants to share anything they've done this week, or anybody got any questions for anybody else or anything at all?
I've got a little top tip if no one else wants to go.
Fantastic.
So it only really occurred to me today. I share people's recognition on their behalf. So if somebody has promoted or hit a bonus, like, I share that to recognize them. And when I first started Arbonne, I obviously didn't have a team, like none of us do in the beginning, and I didn't have anybody to recognize. But I had sidelines, like sideline brothers and sisters. So when they promote or hit like an achievement, I would share theirs, because obviously I'm friends with them. So anybody that was a sideline to me, if I saw that they'd hit a bonus or a promotion, I would share it as well on social media and tag them, be like, well done, that's amazing. So I just had this thought for anybody that doesn't have a team yet, or it has a very small team that's still growing. You could share recognition for sidelines on your social media, like your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories, or Facebook personal page, or your Facebook group, like wherever, and share your sidelines recognition, tag them in it. And that's going to do two things. Number one, the person that you're tagging, it's going to boost their network. That if say like Tony Lee promotes to area, and I write it all over Facebook, and Megan writes it all over Facebook, and then everybody else writes it all over Facebook, all Tony Lee's network is going to be like, oh my gosh, Tony Lee, like, what's this thing that you're doing? Like, looks amazing. Like, all these people congratulating you. So it's going to do that, and that's going to boost her business. But the other thing it's going to do is it's going to boost your business as well, because if you're constantly sharing recognition, your network's going to see that. They don't know whether that person is like a sideline friend to you or in your business, or they've got no idea. It's totally irrelevant. They're going to see that you're sharing this recognition and be like, my gosh, like whatever you're a part of, it looks like it's on fire. So just a little top tip that I remembered today that I did in the beginning, I would share sideline recognition. So if you do see anything pop up, feel free to take the pictures or the wording, or share your own, or make your own picture and wording and share that wherever you use social media, and it will boost the person that's done the recognition, and it will boost you and your network. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really, really good tip. And that also goes for things like obviously the Arizona trip. So Danny and some of the other guys have just come back from Arizona. If you chuck that all over Facebook, then people are going to think, well, what is it that she's doing? You know, she's got people, her business partners. I always say my business partners when I'm sharing things like that. So even though, yeah, all right, I didn't go to Arizona, but my business partners and the people that I work with and part of my company, and, you know, word it in a way that it looks really professional, and the business that you're in, all these amazing, really exciting things are happening, and people are going to be like, well, what's she up to? And, you know, like going, obviously the Ritz that we're on the incentive for at the moment, sharing all of that kind of stuff. And it raises awareness and it raises excitement, because people have, let's face it, most jobs are pretty boring, and most jobs don't send you to Arizona, and they don't send you to Vegas, and they don't send you for tea at the Ritz. They don't do anything like that. And we've got something that is so special and so exciting, and, you know, it can give people something that is just not part of their normal boring jobs. And, you know, it just raises that excitement. So yeah, you know, anything like that. I mean, we've just out of Arizona, we've got Vegas coming up next month. So, you know, even if you can't make it to Vegas, put it everywhere. Share the videos, share the pictures, share everything. And yeah,
to take Carol Sutton Houghton and Jade Brimfield have done level 2 Punta Cana. So if you see those flyers go up, you could save them to your phone and repost them with your own wording, or you could just make your own picture or get a picture off Google of like the Dominican Republic, or you could just write a status just saying congratulations to my business partner or my sideline friend or somebody that I get to work alongside, and then tagging like Jade Brimfield or Carol Sutton Houghton, who's just achieved level 2 incentive trip, and her and her family are all being paid to go to the Dominican Republic in October. I'll be there with you, still working to achieve that. You know, word it however you want, but it just boosts for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think especially when you're quite new, well, either when you're quite new to this business or if you've been in the business for a while, you know, there's a big hurdle there of where people are watching you and they're watching to see how successful you are. And the massive question mark over so many people's head is, does this business really work? Does it really work? And, you know, if you're not driving your Mercedes in a fortnight, you know, sometimes people think, oh, well, it doesn't work. But, you know, even if you're not there yet, it takes time to get there. But if you can share the people that you're working with and say, and show it, say, well, I'm not there yet, but this business clearly works, because when I first started my business, nobody had the white Mercedes. Now we've got 7 in our team. I think we've got 7, haven't we? Or is it 8 now?
I think it's 8. I think
8. So we've got 8 in our team now. And, you know, that's phenomenal. And it's just that validation and that proof that, yes, this business does work. And yes, people get the car. And yes, people earn X amount of money. And yes, they get these trips. You know, it's putting that proof out there to show people that it really does work. And it's difficult to do that in the early days because when you personally haven't got anything to show for it, and everybody's coming back to you and saying, well, I'll keep watching you, and when you make a success of it, then I'll join you. How many of us have had that one before? So people are always watching, so give them a good show.
And my last top tip before Emma ends the call is to change your Zoom name. I love Sammy's at the minute, area manager Sammy Houchin. Whoop! Change your Zoom name to whatever you're going to be, district manager, area manager, regional vice president. Get that title on there. Yeah,
that's an awesome idea. And somebody else came up with an idea as well about their password. So change your password, whether it's on your phone or your computer at work, change your password to something, I don't know, like ENVP and your name, or the QV. One of my passwords for something, which I'm obviously not going to say what it is my QV that I want to see going through my account. And so every time I log into that particular thing, I have to put in that QV. So yeah, anything like that. And it's all part of affirmation, and it's all part of feeding your mind and reaffirming it to yourself over and over and over and over again, like doing the gold cards we do and the affirmations that we do. And, you know, just that repetitiveness, that is what makes things happen. So yeah. Anybody got anything else that they want to mention? Let me just quickly check the chat again.
Any snippets from Arizona, Danny? Anything you can share with us?
I'm sharing on the 9 o'clock call, actually.
Yeah.
What?
I'm excited. I've got all my notes. I'm going to share everything on the 9 o'clock call about Arizona.
How are you doing with the jet lag? You're looking really well now.
Do you know what? I went to sleep on the plane. So we boarded at 2:30 Arizona time, lunchtime basically on the Sunday. And then it was 2 flights with connections, and we landed on Monday morning. So we flew through the night and obviously jumped forward 7 hours. But I had this green blanket that I've got on now. I got a window seat and I just pulled it over my head. I just went to sleep until we were 20 minutes from landing. And I came down, I was like, 20 minutes from landing? Yeah, that'll do. Had a fizz stick and I was fine.
Awesome stuff. Because yeah, that's the killer. Right, okay, well, thank you so much, guys. You are in the top percentages because you have come on this call, you are doing this training, you are working your business, so give yourself a pat on the back. And massive well done for all of your achievements this week. We are a third into the month, so it's time to start rocking it out. Who's going to be a Roger Bannister and hit their maintenance by next week? So don't forget to put all your recognition in the chat so that we can give you a shout out next week. And massive well done again to Joelle, and thank you so much for coming on and sharing your training. You did absolutely awesome. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me, and I will see you in about 5 minutes on the 9 o'clock call.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.